Can you find me now?
There's my notification about it on my phone. Got it.
And what do you see on there? Is there any numbers on it? There is? Yes. What happens when I do this? Something on there?
Just asked if there's numbers on it.
Okay, something's coming, watch.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's a few seconds behind. What? Oh, sorry. I know. I typed something and I'm waiting to see if it shows up. I think we'll just go with this.
deserve. You are unfailing. Savior, future is secure. Be shaken, we will not be silent. Powerless, our God is. We will not be broken. He won't be defeated. Powerless, our God is. Consider all He has done. I said He carried. By His wounds we've overcome. Now we stand redeemed and we are more than conquerors. Savior, in you our future is secure. We will not be shaken. We will not be silent. Sickness, powerless, our God is for us. We will not be broken. We won't be defeated. Powerless, our God is for us.
You have your sound on? Like that?
We will
Good,
sing.
because it's going to be really weird if you...
Sing for the Lord, found in His love. We will sing, sing now, sing to our God. We will sing, sing now, sing for the Lord, found in His love. Sing, sing now, sing to our will not be shaken. We will not be silent. Sickness, powerless, our God is for us. We will not be broken. He won't be defeated.
Good evening, sold out. How are you guys? It's great to see you all popping up on here again tonight. We got a full evening planned. Remember, tonight, after we're done here around 8 o'clock, you'll be getting together on Zoom for your small groups. So hopefully your small group leader has already sent you an invite for that. Otherwise, stay by your phones or devices until you get that afterwards. And if you don't get one, let me know and I'll talk to them. Anyway, hey, it's great to have you all here again tonight. You'll see there the number at the bottom of the screen. Look how I can do that. Isn't that cool? That's where you will text me for different aspects of tonight. And we're going to start out. One of the things that I'm hoping that you guys can do at some point here is text me a joke. I might not read all of your jokes. I have to kind of censor them, you know. But we need to laugh. So text me your joke to the number right there, 763-458-8519. Text me your jokes, and I will read them as I get them and censor them. Some of you also have sent me pictures of some of the stuff you guys have been working on. Just to show you real quick, here are some things that we made. First of all, right here we got Logan in his, I believe it's Millennium Falcon that he made out of Legos, which, by the way, we are having a Lego contest. You can check out our Facebook page for details. Logan's actually got some great prizes to award to the top 2 or 3 projects. So I got that. And then on the other side, we have Dan's project, something he made there. I have to scroll back and make sure. It is a 1903 Wright Brothers Flyer replica, which is pretty sweet, and Dan looks pretty proud of that. So way to go, Dan. That's awesome. All right. Maisie has texted a joke to me, and I think it will be okay. What is the last thing that goes through a fly's mind as it hits the windshield of a car going 70 miles per hour? It's butt. Thank you, Maisie. Cue laugh track. All right. Gavin sends us this joke. What's a ghost's favorite fruit? A blueberry. A blueberry. Thank you, Gavin. As those continue to come in, I will continue to censor them and read them. Again, you can text those to the number there. Charlie has been working on some stained glass work. I don't have the fancy technology to show you on the computer screen, but there it is, some stained glass art. I made something this weekend that I thought was wonderful. That is a smoked pork tenderloin, and it is the best smoked tenderloin I've ever made. I have been doing a little bit of spiritual disciplines and things like that, and on Mondays I fast till after youth group, and looking at this picture might just kill me. So I am switching back to picture of something lesser. All right, Maisie. Maisie has sent another joke and a piece of art that I'm going to show you in a second here. She says, why can't orphans play baseball? Because they don't know where home is. That's terrible, Maisie. But it's kind of funny. What do you call a fight between 2 celebrities? Star Wars. Thank you again, Maisie. And there's Maisie's artwork. See if I can get it up there. Oh, I have to do it like this. But she's been working hard, as you would imagine Maisie would. Oh, my goodness. Charlie, was this your birthday cake? That's incredible. By the way, everybody, it was Charlie's birthday yesterday. Hope you were able to send her some greetings. Might want to social distance that cake right over to my house if you could there, Charlie. That would be wonderful. Dan Mulgrew says, what do you call a factory that sells good products? What do you call a factory that sells good products? You call it a satisfactory. Nice one, Dan. Thanks for saving things for us. Ooh, Mike has been hard at work. He made a bench today. See that? Mike made a bench. Good job, Mike. I think he also got his dad. Also made a low ropes course, but it's not done yet. Obviously, he's got a lot of time on his hands right now. Good job, Mike. So you keep texting in those jokes to us, and we will try to share them as much as we can. Again, text them to the number here, 763-458-8519. Ben says, today at the bank, an old lady asked me to check her balance, so he pushed her over. Nice one, Ben. Maisie says, I was going to tell you a time-traveling joke, but you didn't like it. All right, hey, let's check in with each other here. What have you guys been up to? Some of you have been sending pictures of your projects, what you've made and everything so far. You can keep sending those in, and I'll keep showing them. Also send them in to us during the week, and you can get it up on the screen nice and fancy, like my pork tenderloin. Isn't that beautiful? Pepper, yeah, anyway. All right, so what have you been up to? Here's a question I want to hear about from you this week. And even tonight, if you can. Last week we talked about what have you been reading as you study Scripture to know God. What we want to know this week is, what are you praying about? What are you praying about? What are some of the things that as you're talking to God and you are building that life of prayerfulness, entrusting things to God, what are the kinds of things that you're entrusting to God? Are there particular people that you're finding yourself praying for? Let us know. That's an awesome thing to do, because then we know how we can join you in prayer. So, what have you been praying about, or who have you been praying for? Looks like as you guys are sending those in, Jared is making a go-kart. Way to go, Jared. I tried that once out of 2x4s. It did not work. Sonia, social distance is a verb now. It gets me cake. Social distance is a verb. So social distance that, carry it on a 6-foot platform right over to my house or something. Charlie has been praying for safety for everyone. This is, maybe, I'm going to read this joke that Gavin sent, and it might end up being a prayer request. He says, have you heard of the mathematician who's afraid of negative numbers? Says he will stop at nothing to avoid them. Ouch. Aaron was going to tell us a construction joke, but he's still working on it. Nice one. Kiva would like us to come TP his house. I don't know if that's what he's praying about, but there's an invitation, so if it happens. Does that mean that you are out of toilet paper, Kiva? If so, you can just ask, and we will do what we can to get you some toilet paper without you having to pull it out of the trees. Ashton has been eating his grandma's cookies and has been praying for everyone's safety. Hopefully his grandma knows that Ashton's got the cookies. But that's an awesome prayer request too, talking about safety, praying for everybody's safety with that. Stacy is praying for Jane Carpy's health and others who are out and about. Jane Carpy is somebody from our church who got the COVID, and she's had it for a couple weeks now, and sounds like she's doing a little bit better, but keep praying. It's a hard road back if it hits you hard like it hit her. Mike is praying for his aunt who just lost her brother, and they've been praying for her and her family. So as you think about it, pray for them. Aaron has been praying for all the moms who are doing homeschooling now. Hopefully most of you have been nicer to your new teachers than you were to your teachers back at school. But that's an awesome thing. More pressure and stress on moms now, right? By the way, Kiva says they're almost out of toilet paper. So Kiva, if it gets down to the point where it's dangerous, you just let me know, okay? We'll try to take care of you. Give another minute or so for you guys to let us know what you have been praying about. Logan has been making Lego scenes. This is Lego Tatooine. Very nice. When all of this is over, I'm thinking that we want to go play Legos with Logan. All right, couple more prayer requests. Sonia says she's been praying for people who have to make big decisions on the government level. Yeah, they are responsible for everything that's going on with all of us. And so we really are at the mercy of them making some good decisions. Pray for the homeschooling dads. Stacy says Dana was doing that today. So any of the parents that have to make sure you guys are doing your work, etc., keep praying for them and for those relationships. We'll come back, and as you guys share more requests, I'll try to remember them and throw them out there. And we're going to move along. I have a new initials game for you. Hopefully you guys can read what is on the screen. It's initials game. Maybe I'll have Sage come up with some sort of a... oh my goodness, I just got 10 attachments from Logan. I'll have to show these next week, Logan. Sarah Benor is praying for revival. Sweet. Don't eat that cake till I get home. Thank you, Scott. You are a hero. Sonia, if you hear a knock at the door, that's what it is. Hey, Hope over in Michigan is working on a wall in her room. You can see that. Nice job, Hope. All right. All right. I'll be sharing a few requests with you guys later as we go in. No, Jared Block is. I just realized why you guys are texting me this. Hey, why don't you wait till I actually start asking the questions before you start guessing, you guys? All right, so the initials are JB. I will give you a series of 7 clues. And here's what we're going to do this time. If you want to text in your answer, so you've got some accountability with me, that's awesome. But keep track at the end how many you got right, and we'll see who is the best. So all of these, the initials for whatever or whoever this describes, are JB. And so, first clue for our first initials, born in 1850. Born in 1850. Intended for Sunday school. It was intended for Sunday school. Also intended for Thanksgiving. Also intended for Thanksgiving. Next clue. It was the first song broadcast from space. First song broadcast from space. Refers to something used to avoid collisions at blind intersections. Refers to something used to avoid collisions at intersections. I'm getting some answers here, and none of you are right yet. A story I must tell. I went out on the snow, and on my back I fell. Hey, Ben Mulgrew has it. Nice job, Ben. A story I must tell. I went out on the snow, and on my back I fell. Last clue. Batman smells. Batman smells. No, Kiva, it is not Justin Bieber. Gavin's got it. Maisie's got it. Tanya's got it. The answer is Jingle Bells. All right, so if you got that one right before I gave you the answer, then go ahead and tally that point for yourself. I'm going to kind of clear some texts here so that I don't lose people. I can't wait to get home and eat that cake. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. All right. So many texts. This is awesome. I need to hire an assistant just to look at my texts. All right. Next, JB. Originated in the 1890s. Originated in the 1890s. All right. That's the first clue. Originated in 1890s. This may be a person, place, or thing. Initials JB. Originated in 1890. Second clue. Employed paper rolls. It employed paper rolls. For those of you who don't use employed that way very often, it means used paper rolls, which is something that the Simonsons might need to do quite soon. Employed paper rolls. So far, so no, for those of you who chimed in. Third clue. It is a genre of musical film which includes movies such as Across the Universe, Trolls, and Singin' in the Rain. A genre of musical film which includes Across the Universe, Trolls, and Singin' in the Rain. While you think about that, I'm taking a drink. So far, nobody's got it. We'll keep going. Next clue. It's featured at the end of Top Gun. Featured at the end of Top Gun. Featured at the end of Top Gun. Initials JB. The name implies something disorderly, rowdy, or wicked. Name implies something disorderly, rowdy, or wicked. Still nobody chiming in with the right answer. Two more clues. Considered non-essential during World War II. Considered non-essential during World War II. Hey, can I tell you one of the greatest bits of news, most encouraging things I heard in the last couple weeks is that I am considered essential. Thank you. It feels good. Evidently, what I'm doing right now is essential. Keep that in mind, that communicating with you is essential. What's Top Gun? Logan wants to know what Top Gun is. Logan, Top Gun is one of the greatest movies to come out of the 80s, featuring Tom Cruise as a fighter pilot. So ask your dad about it. He'd love to tell you. All right. Last clue. Key prop in Happy Days. Was a key prop in Happy Days. I'm going to wait just a minute here in case somebody gets it. So far, nobody's got it.
We're still on it.
What's that?
There's the delay, so.
I know. Last clue is that it was a key prop in Happy Days. Jazz band has come up a couple times. And no, it's not. It's not that. Stacy's got it. Gavin's got it. Aaron's got it. Tanya's got it. Ben and Dan have it. Hopefully you guys have not Googled this, but it is indeed a jukebox. A jukebox. Excellent. I'm going to clear these out. So if you got it right, then go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Add to whatever total you've got. Well, I cleared this out. Oh, Maisie, thank you for being honest. She says her mom told her. Maisie, you had a very smart mom. Who also got it right. Sarah got it right. Aaron got it right. Gavin got it right. Lots of you got it right. Good job. All right, next one. See how many of you get this one. It's caused by hungry moth larva. Initials JB. Caused by hungry moth larva. It's juke box, by the way. Juke. A jute box would have something to do with rope, I think. But to go back to the jukebox and the paper, if you think about a player piano with those paper rolls and little holes in it. All right. So, first clue on our next JB. Caused by hungry moth larva. Gavin, no, it's not a jelly bean. It's actually a pod. Second clue, it's actually a pod. So it's caused by a hungry moth larva, and it's actually a pod. Third clue, don't eat them. Do not eat them. Caused by a hungry moth larva, actually a pod. Don't eat them, and don't be trying to use your Google machine on this. Fourth clue, related to spurges. Related to spurges. Related to spurges. Related to spurges. No, it is not a Tide Pod. Was once a popular toy. Once a popular toy. I'll give you a little side hint. This one's totally free, but it was considered the most fun you could have for $1. Ben and Dan, no, you did not get it right yet. It was once a popular toy. Ooh, Arthur chimes in and he got it right. Jake, it's not St. Louis though. It's originated in Mexico. Next one. Last clue, it's a seed pop with a hop. A seed pop with a hop. For those of you guessing Jack in the Box, no. If you had the historical knowledge that Arthur obviously has, you probably would have gotten this. But I think I stumped everybody except for Arthur. It's a jumping bean.
What?
A jumping bean. No, Maisie, it's not marijuana, and that's the wrong initials. A lot of you guessed Jack in the Box. That was not the correct answer. All right, so if you did, in fact, guess jumping bean, which actually a few of you did, good job, then you can go ahead and add that tally to your point. No, it's not a jelly bean, Maisie. And I will clear this out again. You guys are doing really well. All right, next JB. First arrested in 2014. First arrested in 2014. First arrested in 2014. That is the first clue. Oh yeah, I should go back to explain some of what Tram's talking about here. So jumping bean is this little seed pod, and a moth lays an egg inside of it, and then the egg hatches, and there's this little larva in there, and when it gets warm, it starts jumping around. So you could hold them in your hand, and then it would jump in your hand. All right, first arrested in 2014. Let's go back to this one. First son of Jeremy Jack. First son of Jeremy Jack. Nope, sorry, Logan. It's not your grandma. Launched a nail polish line that sold 1 million bottles in its first 2 months. Launched a nail polish line that sold 1 million bottles in its first 2 months. Next clue. Also launched a number of fragrances, including Someday, Girlfriend, and The Key. Launched a number of fragrances, including Someday, Girlfriend, and The Key. Also launched a deodorant called Here and Now. His wife made him shave off his mustache. His wife made him shave off his mustache. And the last clue, yummy. So many of you got this. Well done. It is the Biebs, Justin Bieber. Good job. You knew he had to be in there. Some of you, as soon as I say JB, that's what you're thinking. And so you were chiming in on that right away before the game even started. Good job. All right, let me clear some of these out so I can keep better track. So if you did indeed successfully guess Justin Bieber, add that to your point total. Give yourself a nice pat on the old back. And I gotta stop hitting the wrong ones. All right, on to the next one. First appeared in 1980. First appeared in 1980. I'm going to give you a little time to think about that while I make a little adjustment here. First appeared in 1980. Oops. First appeared in 1980, and hopefully I look a little bit less like, I still look like a ghost. All right. Born in 1970 in Nixa, Missouri. Born in 1970 in Nixa, Missouri. Next clue. Struggled with the effects of amnesia. Struggled with effects of amnesia. Next clue, a specialist in Far Eastern affairs. Specialist in Far Eastern affairs. Has 14 books written about him. Has 14 books written about him. He has 4 movies about him and 1 television movie. 4 movies and 1 television movie. All right, we have 1 person who's gotten the answer right so far. Good job, Maisie. His real name, this is your last clue, his real name is David Webb. His real name is David Webb. Give you a few more seconds here to throw out your guesses. His real name is David Webb. And the answer is Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne. We know for sure that Maisie got the answer right. She got that a couple of clues ago. So way to go, Maisie. Good job. Good job. Good job. Not Joe Biden. Good try, Arthur. Kiva David Webb is not the initials JB. Sorry. All right, let me clear these out. If you're Maisie, you can add that point to your total. And if you're not, you probably can't add that point. And then we should talk about what movie series or franchise you should probably watch next if you've got a little extra time. All right. Next one. His parents and a brother are engineers who worked with NASA. His parents and a brother are engineers who worked with NASA. Initials JB. And his parents and a brother are engineers who worked with NASA. Fictional is okay, Tram. All right, second clue. Initials JB. His YouTube channel has more than 4 million subscribers, just a couple more than I've got. His YouTube channel has more than 4 million subscribers. Third clue, he became an avatar in 2017. He became an avatar in 2017. Next clue. He thinks of himself as an entertainment arsenal with an acting bazooka and a music machete. Thinks of himself as an entertainment arsenal with an acting bazooka and a music machete. Jake, don't tell anybody, but you got it right. For the first time ever. Good job. First time ever in this game. You've gotten a lot of things right, Jake. All right. He sings lead in his band. Sings lead in his band. So he's a lead singer too. Next clue. Specialized in the anaconda squeeze. Specialized in the anaconda squeeze. Specialized in the anaconda squeeze. Last clue. Loves the stretchy pants. Loves the stretchy pants. Give you a moment. See if anyone else can equal the greatness of young Jake Jones. Maisie got it. Good job, Maisie. See if anybody else gets it here. While I'm clearing some of these out. Nope, Dan, that's not it. All right, here you go. It is Jack Black. And Tram, you're supposed to do this on the phone, not on the chat. Because when you do it on the chat, Tram, then everybody sees it. And then it's not as fun. But we admire your enthusiasm. All right. So if you got Jack Black, then go ahead and add up your points. And then go ahead and let me know how many points you got. My phone's probably going to blow up on this one, but text. Actually, if you can do it in the live chat, that might be better. In the live chat, why don't you tell us? This time, Tram, you can do it in the live chat. Tell us how many points you got. Awesome. Way to go, everybody. All right. We are going to play one more game here in a minute. Looks like Sarah Benor got 4 of those. Good job, Sarah. Charlie got 4. Cooper got 4. Stacy got 4. So far, 4 is our high score. That rhymes. Jake got 2. Way to go, Jake. New personal record. We're all about becoming a better ourselves, and Jake is doing that. Ashton, oh, Ashton, we still love you. Your worth and your value, just know any of you, your worth and your value is not based on your score in this. Good job, Jared. All right. All right, we're going to play a game now that we are going to call Heads or Tails, and we'll play a little bit of this every week. But basically the idea here is I'm going to show you part of a video clip, and I want you to guess, and you don't need to text this to me. In fact, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get that out of there. You don't need to text this to me. But you need to decide, does the person in this video, do they land on their head, do they land on their tail, or do they land on both? All right, so heads, tails, or both. Here is our first one. All right, does she land on heads, tails, or both? Let's find out. Oh, that looks like heads. Oh my goodness, that looked painful. Go ahead and try that at home and tell us how it goes. All right, so the second one, heads, tails, or both. All right, does he land? Let me come back to you. All right, does this fella land heads, tails, or both? What do you think? Here we go. Oh, I think we'd kind of say both on that one. All right, we got a couple more of these. How about this one? Heads, tails, or both? Heads, tails, or both? What think you? All right, let's find out. Heads, tails, or both? Oh my goodness. Set us up for failure there. Stacy, you can just answer for yourself. You don't need to text or anything like that. It's cool. All right, this next one, heads, tails, or both. Oh, this cannot end well. Oh my goodness. This is actually, let me show you this again. This is actually footage of, this is stuck. Okay, hold on here. I think this is actually footage of what's been going on at the Losos over the last few days, because I've heard something relative to this. Again, is it going to be heads, tails, or both? What ended up happening at the Losos house? Well, here it is. Oh! Ouch! That's going to leave a mark. That's going to leave a mark. Ah, man. Gavin and Cooper, you guys need to settle down, buddies. All right. Here's our last one. That was quick. Let me show it to you again. All All right, she dropped. She dropped what was in her bag. It's going to be heads, tails, or both. Let's find out. Oh! Comes to the rescue. Poor guy comes to the rescue there and bites it. Let's see that again. Oh no, my pump has exploded. It's going all over the place. Don't worry, I'll help you. Ah! That's kind of how it went. Oh, man. All right. Hold on here 1 second. I got to see if I can find something. Yep. Kiva sent us a little bit more of his artwork. Again, if you guys can send me this stuff during the week, I can get it up on a larger image for everybody to see. But here's, try to give you an idea of what Kate Akiva did here. Hey, my small group's starting in 15 minutes. Awesome. A little bit more in there. And then some finer detail. Very nice. Good job, you guys. All right. If you guys want to, in the next couple minutes, just text in some prayer requests and stuff. That would be awesome. And then I'll share those with you, and then we'll pray together. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of encouragement as we wrap things up here. So this is what we call Holy Week. We've been talking about this for a while, but as we're going through Mark, Jesus is heading towards the cross, and this week we celebrate that. On Friday, we'll be celebrating online. You guys should totally check it out. Living Hope St. Francis.online.church will have a service at 7 o'clock, a Good Friday service, where we'll take some time to look at what Jesus did for us on the cross and to remember that. And then on Sunday, we celebrate resurrection because Jesus died for us in our place there on that cross and was buried in that tomb. And on the third day, he conquered sin and death, and he rose back to life to give us resurrection life. And so in Mark right now, we have been spending some time working our way towards that. And in Mark chapter 15, it talks about how Jesus went before Pilate. Pilate was the Roman governor. At the time, he was in charge of Jerusalem and that whole area. And the religious leaders had arrested Jesus, and they wanted Jesus dead because Jesus was a threat to them. And they knew that they couldn't do it because Rome was in charge. And if they killed Jesus, it would cause all kinds of trouble for them. So they know they have to get Rome to do it. So they bring Jesus to Pilate, and they bring all these accusations against him. And the thing that they thought would do it was this idea that Jesus, if he says he's the Messiah, then the Messiah is supposed to be the king of the Jews, the king of Israel. And anybody who sets himself up as king is setting themselves up against Rome, which would be treason, which would be branding him as a revolutionary. And so they bring these accusations before Pilate, and Pilate asks Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus' response is, you've said it. Basically, it's like, your words, not mine. But what he's really saying there is, yeah, but not the way that you think. It's not what you think it is. And then Jesus goes on, and with all of these accusations and stuff, the rest of the time, he chooses not to speak. He doesn't defend himself. And Pilate's amazed by this. And Pilate gets this sense that Jesus really isn't guilty of anything that deserves death. So Pilate feels like maybe he can stick it to the religious leaders. And so he's got this tradition where at this time of year, he always releases one Jewish prisoner. And so he asks the people outside, should I release to you Jesus, the King of the Jews? And the people say, no, we want Barabbas. Now, Barabbas was this guy who had been arrested because he was part of an insurrection. It says here, one of the prisoners at that time was Barabbas, a revolutionary who had committed murder in an uprising. Barabbas was a murderer. He was a criminal. He had tried to lead some sort of a revolt against Rome. And actually, Barabbas was what they wanted Jesus to be in a lot of ways. They wanted Barabbas, the one who was definitely guilty. They wanted him set free. And so the people shout for Jesus to be crucified. And Pilate says, what shall I do then with the King of the Jews? What should I do with him? And they say, crucify him. And Pilate asks a really good question. What should I do with the King of the Jews? Which is a question that we all have to answer. What are you going to do with Jesus? There's all kinds of people in this story. There's the religious leaders. Jesus was a threat to the way that they lived their lives. They had control and power. They had position. They had wealth. And they had all of these things. And Jesus, his kingdom is a threat to what they're doing. And if they can get rid of Jesus, they can do what they want and hopefully not feel guilty about it. They're envious of him. Pilate says, or it says here, Pilate knew that they were envious. They were only interested in themselves. Pilate, on the other hand, is a political leader, and his power is based on how well he can keep the peace, which means basically he has to do whatever the crowd wants him to do, which is what he ends up doing, even though he makes it clear that he knows that Jesus is innocent, that Jesus doesn't deserve to die. But in order to maintain everything he's got, he has to do what the people want. And sometimes we're like the religious leaders and we just try to push Jesus out because we want to do our own thing and he's a threat to that. Sometimes it's not so much about Jesus. We're like Pilate and we just feel like we've got to do what everybody else wants us to do so we can maintain whatever status or belonging or presence that we think we have. Jesus, on the other hand, he remains silent. And the reason he's able to do that is because he had fully entrusted himself to the Father. And he trusted that what the Father, God, believed about him and judged about him was what matters most. And the disciple Peter talks about it later in one of the letters that he writes when he talks about how Jesus actually set us an example for how to go through difficult times, for how to go through pressure, through how to go through times when everything's caving in around us, to entrust ourselves fully to God and kind of keep our mouths shut because we're entrusted to him. He'll defend us. He'll protect us. And maybe that's something that you and I need to think about right now. How entrusted are we to the Father? How much are we entrusting ourselves to God during this time where everything is haywire? Jesus had a peace, a weird kind of peace that allowed him to go through that without freaking out or having to defend himself. Even though he knew what it was going to mean, he knew that ultimately whatever God had for him was going to be better. And then there's one other person, or there's a couple other people in this. There's the crowds. They're just caught up in everything. And a lot of times the crowd doesn't even know what they're doing. And that's true at school. That's true everywhere you go. You get this group speak thing, and after a while, you don't even realize what you're doing and why you're doing it. You just do it because this is what everybody's doing. And maybe even lately we've seen that in a lot of ways. Like, I got to buy toilet paper. Everybody else is buying it. I don't know why I need toilet paper, but they're buying it. I need it. I got to get it. And we do that in a lot of ways. It's not just toilet paper. And we'll get you some, Kiva, don't worry. But then there's Barabbas. There's a very high likelihood that the cross that Jesus was crucified on was supposed to be the one that Barabbas was crucified on that day. And everything about Barabbas is he's guilty. He deserves to die. Everything about Jesus is he's not guilty. He deserves to live. But Jesus willingly takes the cross that was meant for Barabbas, the sinner. And I think we can all identify with Barabbas because that cross was supposed to be ours. We're guilty. We have rebelled. We've rejected Jesus as our leader, as our king. And Jesus took our place because he loves us, because he wants to rescue us. Jesus said that he didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life up as a ransom for many. And a ransom is the price that's paid to buy somebody out of slavery. The price he paid to buy you and I out of our slavery to sin was his own life. And so this week, I just want to encourage you to think about that. I want to encourage you to think about a few things. One, what are some of the reasons that you push Jesus aside and neglect him? Kind of like the chief priests, the religious leaders, Pilate, the crowd. Maybe you can identify in some of those ways. The second thing I want you to think about is that Jesus took your place, that was your cross. You were supposed to take that cross, but Jesus took your place. And what does that mean? How do you live in response to that? And then the last thing is, what are some situations in your life right now where you need to entrust yourself or entrust those circumstances to God? And trust that he's big enough and that he loves you enough that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Because he's got you, because he loves you. And it doesn't mean you're not going to suffer. Jesus being entrusted to the Father didn't mean he wasn't going to suffer. But it meant that he knew that whatever suffering he experienced compared to what was on the other side, that suffering wasn't going to be as terrible as it might look on this side. So think about those things. In a couple minutes here, we are going to be breaking up for our small groups and doing those on Zoom. And when you do that, I would love it if you guys could take a look at Psalm 139. That's Psalm 139, the 139th Psalm, so there's no confusion there. And I think your leaders have some questions to ask you about that. But just check in with each other, see how everybody's doing, say hello. Arthur, I'm going to send you an invite real quick now that I got your number, so I'm excited about that. And then go through the passage together, read it, and then just talk about that, and then just pray for each other. As you're praying, one thing to be praying about, you can pray for Tanner and Kirsten. Dean, their uncle, passed away unexpectedly on Saturday, and they were really close to him, and so that's really hard for them, as it would be for anybody. But this was one of those uncles that's actually closer to their age. And they were friends and stuff, and so pray for their whole family. With all this stuff going on, everything that's going on is really hard. And then to throw something like that on it, it's even harder. So pray for them. If you think about it, reach out to them too and let them know you're praying for them. Mike Sage is going to type in the correct psalm for you. Got that, Sage? My faithful assistant. All right. And she, of course, said it in the most loving way, which is awesome. Let me just pray for all of us, and then we'll say good night for this till next week. And you'll get to your small groups. Remember, send me pictures of what you're working on, whatever it is. If it's a cake or something, you can actually send me the cake or the cookies, whatever those things are. I will not say no. But let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much that we can be entrusted to you, and that to belong to you is the safest place in the whole world to be. Nobody's stronger. Nobody is greater. Nobody loves us more than you do. And I pray that for those of us who need comfort, that you would give us comfort. For those of us who need things to do, that you would help us to come up with things, and especially things that are productive and helpful, and maybe connecting with each other and encouraging each other in different ways. God, we want to pray for Tanner and Kirsten and their family too. Man, it's got to be so hard to lose somebody like that, and especially when you're not expecting it. It's a real gut punch. And so I pray that you would give them the kind of comfort that only you can give them. I pray that they would sense your presence close to them. And God, I pray that you would help us to take the opportunities to reach out to them and to love them, to listen to them, to let them know that we're praying for them, and to let them know that they're not alone. And we get to do that for each other. And so help us to do that. Also, I just want to pray for everybody who's watching and listening. Thank you for the gift of technology that allows us to still get together. I pray that you would help us to keep finding more and more ways that we can connect with you and with each other, and that we would come out of this trusting you more and loving you more and knowing more than ever how much you love us. So bless each person that's watching, that's listening, and I look forward to seeing them again in person and playing Gaga Ball and Shuffle Buns and all kinds of things. Until then, thank you so much that you bind us together, God, in your name. Amen. So a couple more things, you guys, before I say goodnight. First of all, again, send me pictures of whatever it is you're working on, and I will get them up on the screen for you next week in a way that's better than doing it like that. And if it's delicious food, just send it to me, and I'll tell you how good it was. Also, I just thought of a great idea. If you want to make a video with some greetings, you can send that to me as well. My email address, if you want to do it that way, is lonbjornrud@gmail.com. It's really easy. So if you want to make a video, just a greeting or something like that, or maybe, while I was praying, I talked about playing games together and stuff. If you want to make a video of you playing youth group games like Shuffle Buns by yourself in your living room or something like that, or Gaga Ball by yourself, I think that would actually be really funny. And so send those things to me. And I hope you guys send me so much stuff that I have to only use the best stuff because we don't have enough time to use everything. But just send it to me. We'll have some fun. Let's do it. All right. So that's it. Peace out, Napoleon. You guys have a great time with your small groups, and we will see you hopefully sooner than later. Between now and then, Friday night, Good Friday service, Sunday, you can check us out 10 o'clock for our Easter Resurrection Sunday, and Monday we will celebrate the fact that the tomb is empty, that Jesus is risen, and that changes everything. So love you guys, and we will see you later.